Hi, Paul Barnsley here, PGA Professional, and this week we're talking about how to get out of a bunker that doesn't have a whole lot of sand behind the ball or underneath the ball. Okay, there's not a lot of sand underneath the ball, and one of the ways to check, first of all, when you get to your ball in the sand, you want to take your stance, get your setup, and underneath your feet, feel how much sand there is as far as the base that you feel is going to be underneath the golf ball, okay? You can't actually test the sand as to the depth, but what you can do is kind of feel it a little bit through your feet. In this scenario right here, I know the sand is very firm. So the best way to get myself out of this situation and onto the green is to make sure I make the right decision as to which club I choose. I carry two sand wedges in my bag. I carry a 54-degree sand wedge, which actually has a slightly wider sole with more bounce, and I have a slightly thinner sole sand wedge with less bounce. In this situation here, I would definitely take the sand wedge that has less bounce so that I don't bounce it into the ball so much. I've put down this yellow line right here to indicate the first ball right here would be approximately 1.5 to 2 inches behind the ball. Anywhere in that zone, I could go ahead and hit, and that ball would most likely come out. The next one, on the other hand, with a lie that is a little firm underneath, I want to make sure that my contact point is slightly closer to the ball, no more than 1 inch behind the ball, and I want to use my sand wedge that has a narrower sole. So let's get to it and I'll show you how we do it. Okay, so now a couple of basics before we get started here. In bunker play, you want a nice wide stance, a nice wide base. The wider the base enables you to kind of get a little lower, and therefore the club's going to swing a little bit more of a round, kind of flatter circle. That way you're basically skimming the sand and not digging so much. All good bunker players do that. Also, just shuffle your feet in the sand a little bit. That way I'm kind of feeling how much depth of sand there is and how much I have to play with. At address, I want the shaft of the club to be fairly neutral, not forwards, not backwards. I want the club fairly neutral in front of me. As I swing, a couple little practice swings where I kind of feel the length of movement that I'm going to make. And now I kind of visualize the shot. And again, I don't have a lot of, I'm trying to make contact slightly closer to the ball, so I don't need a really big motion here, okay? No more than about 1 inch behind the ball in this scenario, especially when I don't have a whole lot of sand below the ball. So at address, neutral, take my setup, and go ahead. Let's see how we do. So I'd say that's a pretty successful result right there. I got out of the bunker in one shot, ball ended up pretty close. I'd say that's pretty good success. Again, a couple of basics in the bunker. Stick with your basics, good solid foundation, handle neutral, and again, when there's not a lot of sand underneath the ball, make sure that you measure your golf swing accordingly. That ball's going to come out a little bit quicker because you're not taking a whole lot of sand with it. Club choice is very important. A narrower sole sand wedge is great. I use my 58, which has quite a narrow sole, and that's great where you have two different options. One with a wide base, one with a slightly narrow base. Stick with the basics and you'll have some great success. Good luck, see you at the links, and see you on the club soon. Thanks for watching.